When I was a JEE physics faculty at IIT-JEE, I was given a new batch of class 6 students. And yes, I know 10-year, 11-year-old kids are not supposed to prepare for the JEE exams. But such was the craziness that there was a kid who used to come on the weekends by traveling more than 150 kilometers on train. Now, I don't know what value he got out of it, but certainly that is the pulse of our nation. We want to get into IITs and we are ready to do whatever it takes. So what really is needed to ace your JEE mains and advanced examination? From my experience, who prepared for the JEE exams, went to IIT, then started teaching physics at a lot of coaching institutes, I can say that you need to know how to solve JEE level questions. Now, yes, me being Captain Obvious, you will ask how to do that. So there are three aspects to it. The first being conceptual clarity. The second being observing a lot of questions and bucketing them into question types. And the third is confidence. A lot of people have this misconception that they have conceptual clarity, but when I mention conceptual clarity, what I mean to say is crystal clear concepts. Because unless you have crystal clear concepts, just the vague understanding of the chapter, or if you say something like I understand 90% of the chapter, then certainly that is not crystal clear concepts. I am not saying that you will not have doubts. You will have doubts and you will exactly know what is your doubt, what you do not know, and how to get the answer. Even if, let's say, you have a doubt and you have not resolved it yet, but you still know that what is the pointed question which will clear your doubt. That is what I mean by crystal clear concepts. Crystal clear concepts and understanding the question types of JEE go hand in hand. So when you observe a lot of solved questions, I would rather say solved examples, you will understand that how many question types are present in that chapter. Because essentially a chapter can have 100 questions, 200 questions, I mean, name a number you like. Essentially every chapter has limited number of questions which are relevant for JEE. And if I have to give you some kind of an understanding on that, observe all the solved examples and then try to solve few unsolved questions. Now, when you solve these unsolved questions, after observing a lot of solved examples, you will have greater confidence while solving them. And in that way, all the three aspects will be covered together: confidence, conceptual clarity, and understanding the question types to bucket them into types. Now, why do you want to bucket these questions into types? Because as I mentioned, every chapter has limited number of question types. If you go through the chapter, you will understand that the chapter, even if contains 100 questions, you can bring it down to 20 or 15 question types. If I have to summarize this idea, every chapter will have roughly say 15 to 20 question types, unique question types. And let's say you have 25 to 30 chapters in your JEE physics curriculum. So more or less you have around 400 to 600 question types at max. And an ideal JEE preparation book will have all these 400 to 600 question types, how they can be solved, how they can be complicated, what are the concepts which are handled in these questions, and what are the multiple approaches to tackle these questions. So essentially, the ideal JEE book will dissect all these 400-600 questions and make you adept at them. If these 400-600 odd questions gets multiplied into various forms and appear in any kind of JEE kind of exam, you can solve them at ease and even identify which question type it is. And that is very much needed because JEE, IIT JEE system does not repeat questions, but it repeats question types. And when you hear this statement, you might feel that this is not true. How can you say that? See, question types and just changing the numbers and statements are different. Question types meaning the underlying pattern of the question. So I can say completely different thing. I can ask completely different question, but my question type could remain the same. So that is the underlying message which you have to take from this. Now the next relevant question could be, is JEE physics outdated or boring? Because JEE physics primarily focuses on Newtonian physics or Newtonian mechanics, and these days physics is primarily quantum physics, string theory and particle physics. So it's understandable when someone who wants to get into physics, he or she will have this question in their mind. So to tackle this, you need to understand that if you do not go through the grind of JEE physics, you will not be able to do any rigorous work in these cutting edge physics areas. So JEE physics is like the necessary milestone in your physics research career, and I'm not saying that JEE physics is the only way. In India, given the condition of our education system, JEE physics is the best way for you to get trained into thinking logically and in a rigorous way, so that you are ready for physics research. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you are new. I would keep on making videos on physics and maybe JEE physics also in future. So if you find that this could be helpful for someone, don't forget to share this video or channel.